Hey guys, Mr. Gucci here, and now I'm going to solve the second part of the Unit 7 review, which is I give you the name and I want you to write down the formula. Okay? Rock and roll, folks. Here we go. So let's start with aluminum dichromate. So for all of these, your answers are going to involve a two-step process. First thing you got to do is you got to write down what the ions are, and then you got to crisscross them to get the formula. So what is an aluminum ion? Well, if I go to this periodic table right here, I see that aluminum is always plus 3. So I'm going to start with aluminum, which is 3 plus. All right. Next up is dichromate. Now that ATE ending right there, that ATE ending, that ATE ending tells me this thing is probably a polyatomic ion. So I'm going to go to my polyatomic ion list and try and find dichromate. All right, dichromate. Dichromate, Cr2O7 with a 2 minus charge. This is a rare polyatomic. You don't often encounter it. Again, I made this review harder than the test is going to be. So this is Cr2O7 with a 2 minus charge. Okay, so next thing you want to do is you want to crisscross it. All right, so aluminum is 3 plus. That's how many dichromates we're going to have. Dichromate is 2 minus. That's how many aluminums we're going to have. So the answer is Al2 Cr2O7 3. All right. Again, this was very hard. I'm making this a review harder than the test will be. All right. Next up is zinc chloride. So zinc is Zn with what charge? Let me see here. Zinc is 2 plus. So zinc is 2 plus. And chloride, that IDE ending, chloride is Cl1 minus. Okay, so crisscross. The answer is going to be ZnCl2. That was an easy one, right? That was easy, and that's going to be a lot of the questions you're going to encounter. Right. Next up, we have got potassium sulfate. All right. First up, potassium. What is potassium? Well, potassium is K with a potassium K with a 1 plus charge. You'll have that on your periodic table. K is 1 plus charge. And sulfate, that ATE ending, probably a polyatomic. Sulfate right here is SO4 with a 2 minus charge. All right, so SO4 with a 2 minus charge. We crisscross. Potassium is 1 plus, so we end up with 1 sulfate. Sulfate is 2 minus, so we end up with 1 potassium. So the formula is K2 SO4 1. We just leave it be. Again, what does one? You have 1 SO4. So that means you have SO4. It's not SO, that's not sulfate. SO4 is sulfate. So if we're talking about sulfates, your answer has to have SO4. The only question is, how many are there going to be? This is what 1 sulfate looks like. All right? This is what 2 sulfates looks like. This is what 3 sulfates looks like, and so forth, okay? So your answer is K2SO4, all right? Now, if you want to put this in parentheses, even though there's only one of them, that's fine. I'll accept that, okay? But in most cases, if there's only one, you don't need parentheses. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Let me blow this up a little bit so it's a little bit easier to see, right? So copper 2 carbonate. Well, copper is Cu, and it's 2, so it's telling you this thing is a 2 plus charge. All right. Next up, we've got carbonate. That ATE ending makes you think it's a polyatomic carbonate. Here we are. Carbonate, CO3, 2 minus. So CO3, 2 minus. So you can crisscross this, all right, 2 and 2. All right. So the answer you'd get is Cu2, CO3, 2. But if it's 2 and 2, you can just reduce that to 1 and 1. So the actual formula is CuCO3. Guys, when you're about to crisscross an ionic compound and you see that the charges are the same, just opposites of each other, stop. You don't need to crisscross this. This copper here is a 2 plus ion. This carbonate is a 2 minus ion. That means one of each will cancel the other out. All right, so you don't need to crisscross if the charges are opposites of each other. You just have 1 and 1. All right, let's go on to this next one. Disulfur tetraoxide. That sounds weird. Why? Because what is the dies and the tetras, all that? That is from the covalent compound chapter. This is a covalent compound. Yuck. Covalent compound. It's only nonmetals. So disulfur is S2. Tetraoxide is O4. So S2O4. It's covalent. Mr. Gucci, are you really going to throw in covalent problems on the test? Oh, maybe one just to keep you on your toes. Remember, your midterm is at the end of the month, and I can just be throwing all these different things at you with no concern for safety or your well-being, all right? Ionic, covalent, everything is fair game on the midterm, all right? So next up, copper 3 nitrate. Well, copper 3, once again, it tells you the charge is 3 plus. And nitrate, that ATE ending tells me it's probably a polyatomic ion. Nitrate. NO3 with a 1 minus charge. All right, so NO3 with a 1 minus charge. So we're going to crisscross. There's 3 plus 3 is the copper charge, so we're going to end up with 3 nitrates. And nitrate has a 1 minus charge, so we're going to end up with 1 copper. The formula is Cu1, just leave it blank, NO3, 3. This is what 3 nitrates look like. Guarantee I'm going to get a lot of people just saying NO3 and saying, oh, this is 3 nitrate. That's not. This is 1 nitrate. 3 nitrates is NO3, 3. 1 nitrate is NO3. 3 nitrates is NO3 in parentheses, 3. All right, so there you go. There's that one right there. On to the next one, silver acetate. Silver is Ag, and the charge on a silver ion is 1 plus. Silver is always 1 plus. That's why they don't call this silver 1 acetate. It's just silver acetate. All right, and what is acetate? It sounds like a polyatomic ion. Let me go look it up. Acetate, 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 C2H3O2 with a 1 minus charge. So C2H3O2 with a 1 minus charge. Well, silver is 1 plus, acetate is 1 minus, so you don't even need to crisscross this because they're opposites. You'll just cancel them out. So it's Ag C2H3O2. You had 1 of each. If it helps you to put this acetate in parentheses, even though there's only 1 of them, to remind you that there is just 1, then you can do it. But just know that pretty much every chemist in the entire world, they wouldn't bother with parentheses if there was just 1 acetate. So Ag C2H3O2, 1 silver and 1 acetate. Job done. Let's try aluminum acetate. You know what? We've done aluminum before. Aluminum was Al3 plus, and aluminum will always be Al3 plus. And we just did acetate up here, C2H3O2, 1 minus, all right? Aluminum acetate. So this aluminum is 3 plus. That's how many acetates we're going to have. This acetate is 1 minus. That's how many aluminums we are going to have. The formula will be Al1, or just Al, and then C2H3O2, 3. 3 acetates. 1 aluminum and 3 acetates. All right? This is 1 acetate. This is 3 acetates. There you have it. So there is aluminum acetate. On to the next one. Tetraphosphorus decaoxide. Well, it's got these prefixes. It looks weirdly familiar. This is another covalent compound, guys. Tetraphosphorus. Tetra is 4, so P4. Deca is 10. Oxide is oxygen, so O10. All right, P4, O10. Mr. Gucci, why do you do this to us? Because I hate you. I mean, I believe in you. That's what I believe in you. I think you can handle it. All right. Last up, chromium 2 phosphide. So chromium 2. Chromium 2. Chromium is Cr and it's 2, so it's 2 plus. That's easy. Phosphide. Phosphide. Oh, is that a polyatomic? No, this is phosphate and phosphite. Phosphide is this guy right here. All right, it's phosphorus with a 3 minus charge. That IDE ending is monoatomic. This is phosphorus with a 3 minus charge. All right, so crisscross. Bloop, bloop. Cr3, P2. Right, this is a slightly easier one, more indicative of what you will be encountering on the test tomorrow. So there you go, guys. There are 10 questions that we just did. All right, 10 questions that we just did by doing some crisscrossing, okay? So I might put a little column in here for you to like write the ions and do crisscrossing to help you. That might be helpful, all right? Otherwise, you have to just do it in the margins, all right? So anyways, this is good, all right? Let me know if you have any questions. There are some multiple choices on here. I'm not going to walk through the multiple choices because if you scroll down to the bottom of the test, not only will you find, oopsie, I messed up that, Cr3P2, we are human. If you spot an error, all right, if you spot an error in what I've done, let me know and I'll give you a bonus point. Yeah, I made that work. All right, cool. What was I saying? The heck was I talking about? Yes. There are some multiple choices. I'm not going to walk through them because I give you the answers at the bottom of the sheet with explanations to each one. All right. So you can walk through those explanations and check them out if you like. Oh, this should be 28. Cool. All right. Anyways, guys, that's it. I hope you found this video helpful and good luck with the test. Bye.